This is the Criterion Creeps podcast, and tonight we're talking about Red Beard from 1965, directed by Akira Kurosawa, our good, close, personal friend here on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
The tagline for Red Beard, RJ, what is the key to life? Power, prestige, or peace?
I don't know.
All very lofty things.
I
The
don't know.
the synopsis of the film from Letterboxd. Aspiring to an easy job as personal physician to a wealthy family, Noboru Yasumoto is disappointed when his first post after medical school takes him to a small country clinic under the gruff Dr. Red Beard. Yasumoto rebels?
Rebels?
Rebels? Yeah, rebels.
Okay, English hard.
In numerous ways, but Redbeard proves a wise and patient teacher. He gradually introduces his student to the unglamorous side of the profession, ultimately assigning him to care for a prostitute rescued from a local brothel.
Oh, no.
So, Arjun, as I mentioned last week to you, this is a movie that had been long on my radar of movies to watch.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, I've always thought of the one anecdote that Bill Murray gave about him first meeting Wes Anderson while getting ready to make Rushmore, and how he was talking to him on the phone about this movie Red Beard, and he's like, "Hey Bill, have you ever seen Red Beard?" And he's like, "No, I haven't." And so he sent him a copy of it, the Criterion, and I was always like, "Huh, well, at Red Beard, that movie's got to be pretty cool if Wes Anderson's all about it, right?"
Well, it's gotta be.
It's got to be cool. I mean, Kurosawa, he makes all those samurai movies. Red Beard, what's this movie? What's it going to be about? I had no idea. I didn't.
What was it about, Jarrett?
It's about doctoring.
Oh, okay.
And the other line that people like to trot out is it's about humanism and existentialism and things like that. This movie's 3 hours long.
It sure is.
And it feels like a 3 hour long movie. And maybe
it
even
sure does.
Even longer, some might say.
Mm-hmm.
It took me 3 sit downs to get through it all.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Was it an hour a piece, or was it one day you did an hour and a half, one day you did 20 minutes, and then the next day you finished it?
I watched the first hour on Monday, and I dozed off because I was tired. And then I sat down for the next portion, I guess. And that was going okay. But then there came a point where I was just getting so frustrated with the fact that this movie has no real plot trajectory to it. It's just kind of you know what started coming to my mind while watching this? Kwaidan.
Do you mean quite long?
Yes, our good close personal friend Kwaidan. And it's pace and feel, and it's the same era too. And I'm like, oh my god, I can't do this right now. So I stopped with 40 minutes to go, and then I watched the rest of it last night. And I don't know, man. I don't know. So
tell me more, dude.
Some facts I'll throw out there. So this is the 16th and final collaboration between Kurosawa and our good buddy Mifune.
This is the final one?
This is it.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah, this is it. This movie is really well shot. I had to wind up watching this on my laptop so I could get some of those sweet subtitles going on. So having to watch a 3 hour long movie on your laptop is a real pain in the ass and not very pleasant. And yeah, but anyway, I could definitely pick up though that this movie is really well shot, and I was appreciating yep, this is a man who really knows how to compose a shot. We talked about all these things before with High and Low and Seven Samurai. He's really aware, RJ, of that horizon line in every shot.
Where's the horizon?
Yeah, exactly. Just our good buddy John Ford.
Hey, Jarrett.
Yeah.
Do you not have an HDMI cable to connect your TV?
I do, and I just didn't think that it would be worth the effort to have to set my TV up to make it. I just didn't want to go through it. I didn't want to set it up and unplug a whole bunch of shit. I just was I'll just watch this movie. How unpleasant of an experience could watching Red Beard be?
How unpleasant was it?
Yeah, well, it just went on forever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I hooked it up with my HDMI
Yeah.
and it was nice.
I've done this in the past for movies, like when when I wanted to specifically watch it as painlessly as possible, and for some reason I decided not to do it this time because I just don't want to have to like set things up and get all the frame rates properly and getting the calibrating color settings on my 4K TV to my laptop. I just didn't want to do it. So I did it this way, and I perhaps regret it. And maybe I'm not doing the show in this movie well by not having done it that way. But
it's pretty sloppy what you're doing here.
I guess so. But I don't know, man. I've been here before. I've been on this maybe the wrong side of history. I'm not a big fan of that Seven Samurai. I think it's like a fine movie, but like where it's like this like all-time classic sort of thing. And Red Beard, like you look at those ratings, it's got that average of a 4.0, and it's very heavily weighted to the 5 side. Lots of gushing praise for this. But I don't know. At the end of the day, this movie is like, I get it. You know, this arrogant.
What do you get about it?
The young doctor, the arrogant doctor, comes to the hospital, this peasant hospital, and all that stuff's like really interesting and like kind of like, ooh, this is like a different sort of environment. Like poor people, like hilariously made up with like sick makeup on, or like they're white faced and like bags under their eyes. You see the state of like how they're being looked after. They don't have beds to sleep under to keep them like from getting sicker. All these sort of things get dropped on you. All the staff hate it there. They're all overworked, and this guy's like, "Oh, geez, must be rough." And then he finds out, "Oh, hey, you're going to be working here for a while." He's like, "What? Your bags are here already? What?" And then he's like, "This is ridiculous." You get the big long bill to the reveal of Red Beard, Toshiro Mifune, with his red beard in black and white. And I don't know, he doesn't seem like ever that bad of a guy. He just seems like a, quiet, understated Japanese man who just like, he knows what he's doing. And he's got a, bleed by example, this Yashimoto guy. And that's the whole movie. You already know where it's going to go. I feel like I've seen this movie before, like in terms of like plot beats go, and it's like very episodic. Like you get him dealing with like different patients and learning quote unquote lessons from each of those experiences. Like, hey, there's this woman named the Mantis because she kills men. I can cure her. And then he almost gets killed. He's like, oh man, maybe I don't know as much as I should. And then there's like dying men, and it's like, oh, this guy had some weird dark secret. Oh, he had sex and children with his daughter. And then there's another one where it's like, oh, this man, there was like a landslide and there was like skeletal remains. And this guy's like, oh yeah, that was my wife. We got some of that patented Criterion cuckolding.
Again, this is coming up pretty frequently. This cuckold stuff,
and this is way before that became a thing.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. But this movie plays out like Lemony Snicket's, where it's just like every person's story is just like, and then something horrible happened.
Yep.
And then something even more awful happened. And everyone, it was pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, when he's telling the story on his deathbed, all the people who've been gathered around, weeping. But like, I guess like, hey, there's a couple of nice little bits of film craft, RJ, here that I'll mention.
Oh no, fine artisan.
How the creation of like the earthquake aftermath is like really well done. They don't show it. It's just like, hey, put some smoke behind some rubble, and it's like, oh, you're walking through an earthquake scene of like all these collapsed buildings. And it's like, yeah, you didn't even have to make an earthquake. You just tell people, yeah, there was an earthquake. It was really bad, and then you show them walking through the rubble, and it communicates it really, really well. So I'm not knocking this movie from like that aspect of like, yeah, Kurosawa knows how to direct a movie, but this story and telling is just like, I wasn't really into it. And then so we get these like 3 stories of Yashimoto treating people and learning about like the experience of humanity. And then we get introduced to the 12-year-old girl who's like working at the brothel, getting beaten because she's not playing games or playing by their rules. he Yashimoto's like, yeah, she's sick, we're taking her. And then these goons show up and we're like, oh yeah, you just want a free poke, don't you, pal? Well, we're not going to let you do that. And then we get Mifune just beat the shit out of these men, and because he's a doctor, he knows how to like really hit you in the spots where he breaks arms and wounds you. It's hilarious. Like that scene is so like ridiculous, and I was like, yeah, action, because I'm a meathead, I guess. I was just like appreciating this because I was imagining like, did the TV show House ever have scenes like this, or Quincy?
It could have. I haven't seen that. Are you talking about Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman?
Quincy, the 1970s NBC show.
Oh, okay, I thought by Quincy you were like making like a cute, like, Quincy, like Dr. Quinn. Doesn't matter.
No, that was Sully's job, on Dr. Quinn.
Oh, to mess people up.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that scene, it's pretty crazy because it comes out of nowhere where he's like, I'll fight you if you want. And the rest of the movie is about like poor people and being sick and like doctors. And you're like, okay. You're like, so this guy's going to go fight him. And then he goes outside and then he snaps a guy's arm in half and the bone pops out. And you're like, whoa. And then he does it to like 9 other guys. Yep. And then afterwards he's like, oh no. He's like, maybe I was a little too rough.
Oh, so I don't even think he regrets it, like, though.
No, he was just like, probably shouldn't have done that, but whatever. He's like, these guys were pricks. They deserved it.
Go get the stretchers and we'll bring them over to the clinic.
Yeah, he like mutilates those fucking guys. But I found it striking how much it goes from the movie it is to seeing actual bone being like sticking out of skin. You're like, whoa, where did that come from?
Yep.
But yeah, he was straight breaking some arms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then they bring the girl, and then there's like a long extended bit of him like reaching the girl and being sad, and then she's like, "You're being so nice to me," and then you get this really thing where she breaks a bowl, and then she goes and begs for money, and then it turns out she's saving up money to replace the bowl, and it's all very touching. And then he gets sick himself, and he's all feverish and whatever, and he gets better because that's what happens, and then there's like a little boy thief and what have you, and he gets sick and then he dies. Then we all learn lessons. And
what lesson did you learn?
Don't be a dick asshole doctor.
What about don't be poor?
Well, that certainly doesn't help, being poor.
Yeah. Nobody benefited from that.
There's the line that like it's the subtitle on. It's like after like the girl with like the baby comes running at him. She's like, "Oh, my kid's sick." He's like, "Oh, he's got measles. Bring him to the clinic." And then she runs away. And then he like looks around. And he goes like, "Cause I'm like helping people." It's like, yeah, yes. It's like
he's like, yeah, good idea.
That's your job, bud. Anyways. I guess what I'm saying is I'm kind of underwhelmed by this movie. I think it's like objectively a good movie. It's a well-made movie, but like I just like, I don't know. It didn't stir anything in me at all. I
sympathize with that viewpoint.
So anyway, RJ, hey, what did you think?
I sympathize with that viewpoint. Yeah. I also nodded off in this thing, but I woke myself up. I got some cheese and I was ready to go again. But yeah, this thing was a bit of a struggle to get through for some. There's a couple points in this thing where I was really like, my head was bobbing. I was like, holy fuck. I was like, am I still watching a movie? I
wonder if it's like something about like, because this movie doesn't have like a very like active soundtrack. Like there's a lot of stillness and quiet and everything's kind of like in this very low tone, and I think it just lends itself, like if you're a little tired and sitting comfortably on a couch and it's like black and white, which is easy on the eyes, and you're just gonna slip off, and there's not like I said, there's not a lot of plot to like drag you along. Like it's a bunch of scenes.
And there's a lot of long lingering scenes. Like there's one scene where I think two people, like one person says something and then it's a shot of the other person not responding for this sounds like an exaggeration, but I think like 40 seconds, which is a fucking eternity in film. So it was like 40 seconds of the other person just like looking at them. And I was watching it. I was just in my mind. I was like, holy shit, this is a long fucking scene. And then the next one, I was like, holy shit, this is a long fucking scene too. And it got to the point when I was watching this thing and then it goes to black. I was like, oh, okay, that's not bad. And then intermission pops up and I was like, intermission? I was like,
Oh
holy
man, that
fuck.
that intermission was like the happiest time because I'm like, oh cool, I can just fast forward like 5 minutes.
I didn't know it was there, and I was just bummed out because I was like, it's like we're only halfway through this movie. I was like, I was really hoping it was done, but it's kind of like what you said. I think it is like Kurosawa is a smart guy. He knew how to do things. All the shots look great.
This is the movie he made instead of working on the Olympics,
Oh,
for Tokyo Olympiad. Because it's the same era. Because he worked on this for 2 years, and yeah, he wound up doing this instead of doing that, which I guess is like what a coincidence.
something. Yeah. Oh, it's almost as if Criterion had planned it.
But
I doubt that,
Yeah.
but you know. So yeah, like I don't know, it looks really good. There are a few shots, like there's one shot where it's I think when the mantis comes in the room and there's like the candlelight and it's just her and that guy. Like that stuff looks great, and some of the stories I think are good. It's just I think this movie could really benefit from trimming it up a little bit. Cutting out those 40-second scenes lingering on a person's response where they're like not talking, because after a while I was really just like, whew. I was like, this isn't a bad movie by any means, but holy fuck, is it long and drawn out. So I think it's that more than anything else. Like, it's a good enough movie, but
See, that's the thing. It's like I don't feel like full on burying it. Like, but
no, because it has redeeming qualities. It's just like when you watch it, you are like, I'm with you. I was pretty uninterested in it. About an hour in, I was like, all right, all that I'm watching from here on in is just because I need to watch it for the podcast, not because I'm interested anymore.
Yeah, I was kind of hate watching this last night because I was like,
Good.
I've got 40 minutes left, and like nothing of note happens in that. There's nothing there, so I don't know. I'm maybe being too nice to this movie because it's like I think
you are, but also like I don't know. I like my buddy Kurosawa. I'm usually pretty. I would say I think we said it before, like with maybe Hidden Fortress or something, where it's like even his weaker entries are still better than a lot of the bad movies that we've watched in the Criterion so far. Where I think Hidden Fortress is a lot more entertaining than this, but it's the same kind of thing where it's like, well, there's nothing like that I actively dislike it in, where there's movies that we've talked about on this show that I'm like, I really do not like this stuff, like certain qualities of things. And this one, it doesn't really have anything like that, but I was like, man, this is just a fucking boring movie. Like, I had no idea that the basis and inspiration for the hit TV show Scrubs would be so uninteresting. Did you get Scrubs vibes when you were watching this?
I just was like thinking about other like doctor hospital sort of things that I could watch, like
Dr. Cox and JD from Scrubs.
No, I was thinking about the George C. Scott movie, The Hospital. That I was like, at one point when I was more ambitious and this movie had like perked me up more, I would have maybe gone out of my way to watch that just for fun. But no, this movie beat me down.
In what way?
Because it's the only movie I wound up watching.
I see.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's certain things, and I think this movie also kind of plays out more like a TV series, where all the side stories with all the people, it's almost like it would work better as an anthology thing, where not even an anthology, that's not the right word, just like a series, where each episode you're introduced to like some new characters, and they tell you their story, and you're like, okay, one and done, 40 minutes over. Next episode, you're introduced to some other characters, and then it's like, here's their story, 40 minutes done.
Tales of Red Beard's Hospital.
The Tales of Red Beard, the pirate. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I got a review for you.
Oh, good. So I found it weird not being able to see the color of his beard. I know it's black and white, but I was like, I want to see if Toshiro Mifune did have a red in his beard. That would have been fun. Do you think they dyed it red for like the movie?
So they think in Red Beard?
Yeah, so they're like, oh, he really is Red Beard.
Well, I was thinking about what's his ass in Roma. I want to make it so the characters in the movie think in black and white.
Think in black and white. Yeah. There's gonna be black and white everywhere. It's like, oh, that's a normal thing to do to your crew and cast. Sure.
Because real life was black and white. Remember then?
Oh, right. Yeah, memories are black and white because people don't dream in color.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I think this thing would benefit from being a series where if you want to tell all these stories, that's fine, but you should like break it off into smaller chunks that are consumable, like 40 minutes a pop, instead of one big 3 hour mess of a thing. So there's that. This movie also has some funny things in it where I was like, okay, where like the test for the med school student is basically like, here's a crazy lady, figure it out. And then they like dump on that lady who has like deep psychological problems. They're like, figure it out. And he's like, okay, that seems like a good test. Or when the one thing I thought was really funny actually is when they're doing like the surgery on the crazy lady, and the med student comes in, and Red Beard is like, her intestines are coming out, push them back in. And then he faints. I thought that was really funny for some reason, but I was also kind of surprised to see nudity in this, which is also like when I was saying I was surprised to see the gore and the violence. I was like, oh, I didn't expect that. I don't know. Were you surprised by nudity in this thing?
Maybe that was when I was sleeping.
It's only like 5 seconds. So do you know that surgery scene where he pushes the intestines back in?
Okay.
Yeah. So you don't see the intestines, but that lady is naked, and you do see I'm an old pervert, so I noticed.
See, maybe
I was like,
I didn't even think I noticed her being naked.
She was naked.
Okay.
Jarrett, let me tell you, she was naked, man.
It was all out.
It was all out like gout, my friend. Ooh. But yeah, that's right. Anyways, I was just saying that I was a little surprised by that. I was like, man, is that nudity? And then later I was like, man, is that bone sticking out of that skin? I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
This is weird. So yeah, I don't know. I think we're both at a weird spot here where it's like, well, the movie it's good. Like, it's well put together, but at the same time, it's not very interesting.
To either of us.
So maybe we are being too nice to it because it's Criterion alum, but...
And Kurosawa, I mean,
Oh, come on. But I don't know. There must be something to it because... when we get to La Dolce Vita, I'm not going to be nice on that because it's Criterion alum Federico the Fart Fellini. I don't care. I'll talk about that movie, in honesty. As I talk through burps.
Yeah.
John Mulaney style. Yeah. I don't know, Jared. It's very okay. I have like 5 notes for this thing. It was a real waste of paper, to be honest.
Yeah, I've got about 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, RJ. Let's kick loose some thoughts here. Let's take a look at who hates this movie.
Sure.
This first one makes me laugh. From Evan Bauer, 1.5 star, Criterion DVD library.
Is that it?
That's it.
Is that good, or like what does that mean?
It's 1.5 star review.
Wow.
Tell us about Evan?
Big time Criterion watcher.
Yep.
A Canadian boy.
Mm-hmm.
From the East Coast, though. Favorite movies include that new movie Burning. Making waves.
Yeah.
Rushmore, Days of Heaven, Vertigo. Their bio is kind of funny. It says, "My terrible taste, let me show you." It shows. Mm-hmm. Just lots of Criterions, actually. 5-star movies are like The Wages of Fear, Brazil, Blowout, Juliet of the Spirits. Hey now.
Hey.
Citizen Kane. Yeah, it's all Criterions. Twin Peaks. Oh no. Uh-oh. I found it. Call Me by the Right Name.
I knew it. That's the one.
Call Me by Your Name. Yes. It is. Well, actually, Force Awakens is 5 stars too. So it's all Criterions except for Call Me by Your Name and Force Awakens. Okay. And it is always that movie.
It's always that movie.
But that's my point. It's always that fucking movie.
All right.
So stop.
Let's continue on. That's the lowest review this movie's got.
Yeah.
And then we got a bunch of 2 stars. Luka Stoshik. What on earth? This is the work of a 10-year-old boy. So petulant and pompous and self-aggrandizing is this DOA melodrama. So shockingly bad is this film that it automatically disqualifies Kurosawa from Best Director Ever status. I would never have. I would never have him on that list anyway.
Who said that anyways? Yeah.
Well, lots of people do, but not us. What was he thinking? Prepare for 3 hours of the impossibly condescending and flat out ignorant mantra. Some people are good, some are bad. I haven't seen all of Kurosawa, but I've seen enough to be thoroughly disappointed and to experience an unhealthily large dose of secondhand embarrassment. Avoid at all costs.
You know what you should avoid at all costs? Luka Stoicic is taste in movies.
Yeah.
His bio says, where all my fellow film school dropouts and Gatorade addicts. And then there's a thing of lots of essays, apparently. Only 2 5-star movies, Jarrett.
Oh.
Only 2.
Discerning.
One has the bad guy from The Mask. Do you remember him? The bad guy from The Mask? Jim Carrey's The Mask?
No.
A movie called Clean Shaven from 1993.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Hey, future Criterion Creep.
Is that so?
Yeah.
The other one is
schizophrenia.
Oh, I see.
It's a real ride.
The other one looks like it's part of the Eclipse series. It's called Dying at Grace by Alan King.
Oh, yeah.
The actuality dramas of Alan King. Those are the only 2 5 stars.
I own that movie, and I've never
You own
seen
that one?
it. Yep.
So here's the thing, Jarrett. There's a couple half-star reviews. There's one for Mandy. There's a 1-star 1-star rating for Deadpool 2, which is Corpse's favorite movie. But there's a half-star rating for like Eden Lake, which is pretty good, and a half-star rating for Biodome. I don't think that's fair. Biodome's pretty good, Jarrett. Biodome's pretty good.
Well,
Jarrett.
I got another 2-star here from Kevin Nash.
The wrestler?
Diesel himself.
Wow, I didn't know he was a film guy.
Big sexy.
Ooh.
A curious misfire from a great director. This is a film so recklessly gushy about its titular character and so overwhelmingly quixotic in its optimistic views on human nature that it comes off as totally melodramatic. That, coupled with its 3+ hour runtime and episodic, unfocused structure, makes the film play out like an unbearably long pilot to a medical drama television show. Not
like
even
Scrubs.
Kurosawa's gorgeous eye for compositions, nor Toshiro Mifune's soulful and at times slyly funny performance can elevate this material. It's a prime example of how much a strong story and its plotting are integral to a great film, even with masters in front of and behind the camera. So me and Kevin Nash, we're kind of on the same
page.
Same page, I think.
Well, Kevin Nash doesn't have like horrible taste. All the 5 stars they're like Criterion movies for the most part. There's a couple things like Toy Story, Body Snatchers from the 70s. Your favorite movie, Halloween, is also 5 stars.
The new one or the original?
The original. Frozen is 5 stars. Rebecca, actually the other people had 5 stars for Rebecca also. But Lady Bird, Shape of Water, also 5 stars, which is weird. But here's the thing, Jarrett. There's only they have 9 1-star reviews. One of them is The Replacements with friend of the show Gene. Welcome to Mooseport Hackman, which I actually think The Replacements is a pretty fun movie. But then also The Big Green. Now, have you seen The Big Green, Jarrett? It is not a 1-star affair. Not in the slightest bit. That is Steve Guttenberg doing his thing. It's the fat red-haired kid from The Sandlot doing his thing. The Big Green is a pretty premium movie. So I really don't think this is a 5-star affair.
Okay.
Or I mean a 1-star affair, sorry. Okay. So this guy's not being very fair.
Oh, man.
On his rating.
Take that, Kevin Nash.
Take that, Kevin Nash, you fuck.
Finally, Jacob Gemin. 2 stars.
Gemin?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I really struggled with this. Maybe a part of my struggle was an assumption, a dumb one, that this was a pirate movie. In my world, color plus beard equals pirate. Plus, the scruffy visage of Toshiro Mifune just screams craggy ship captain. This is not a pirate movie. It doesn't take place on the sea, or in salty pubs, or amid a port town.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, it's the story of a young doctor with ambition who gets placed in an intern position with an established small town doctor, a position he didn't ask for, that he didn't want. We see various stages of the clinic and his reaction to the situation, but the meat of the story is various interactions. Woeful monologues, extended flashback scenes, and the occasional stoic glare of Mifune. To
Mm-hmm.
me, it felt like a whole lot of random encounters, building blocks that supposedly changed the young doctor's worldview, but he's kept at arm's length for the majority of the movie. I felt like, as a viewer, I was seeing the change in the young doctor because I was being told he was changing, not because I could glean the information from how he is presented. At over 3 hours, Red Beard feels more like a series of character-linked short stories than a cohesive film. But it's not
Mm-hmm.
structured like you'd expect a series of short stories to be, creating a flailing search on my part for a semblance of a plot to snap everything into focus. As you'd expect, with a well-regarded Akira Kurosawa film, Redbeard scores highly pretty much everywhere. Despite my pittance of a score, this will be tagged for a rewatch at some point to see if a second viewing, without the burdensome expectations, will allow me to find that something everyone else seems to have found from watching it.
Fair.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I didn't think this was going to be a pirate picture. That's kind of cool idea of it.
I was
but,
hoping.
yeah, but no pirate picture. I don't know what I was expecting. I think a drama about a man named Redbeard and his like life, maybe. Like it was like going to be like uh, a movie about a bigger than life figure or something like that. But instead, it's this very low key kind of thing at at a peasant hospital.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what I was expecting, but this guy seems like he is on our wavelength. 5-star affairs include Battle Royale, The Raid 2, Cannibal Holocaust, Martyrs, I Am a Ghost. I think you watched that recently.
Yeah.
The Devils, but also Phantasm. No. The Shape of Water. 5 stars, that is. And then I think it's funny here, his bio. He says, I'm not really a critic by any stretch of the imagination. I just like to watch movies and regurgitate what I saw in some sort of reaction. Skip ahead to, I have a weakness for animation, coming of age movies that, coming of age shit, movies that can be described as disturbing, and the Criterion Collection. However, this guy has a few half-star ratings. One of them is Osmosis Jones. Jared, have you ever seen Osmosis Jones?
Fuck off.
That's a good movie. What do you? Who doesn't like Osmosis Jones? Honestly, who doesn't like Osmosis Jones? That's a good show.
No.
Have you seen it?
I tried watching it, and no, that movie sucks.
But it's from your buddy the Fairley Brothers.
Yeah, I know, and
The
it's,
people who brought us Stuck on You.
isn't it like Bill Murray with like he's got like stomach problems?
Yes.
Working at a zoo. Does that sound right?
Yes.
Yeah. No,
But then Chris Rock is a white blood cell in his body named
Yeah.
Osmosis Jones.
Yeah, RJ, sometimes you're wrong. Sometimes you're on the wrong. Sometimes you're wrong.
No, I think sometimes you're wrong.
No.
Sometimes all of you are wrong, and I'm going to tell you about it. I got a lot of problems with you people,
No.
and you're going to sit here and you're going to listen to
We're
them.
going to hear about RJ's guilty pleasures that he feels that people have to all celebrate.
Come on. He also has 1 star for Jack. That's wrong. That's a 5-star movie.
No, it's not.
Jungle to Jungle with your buddy Tim Allen. That's not a 1-star
See,
movie.
my problem would be that I wouldn't even bother rating this type of thing because they're like not even movies worth rating. And it's like unless this person is going out of their way to rewatch these types of movies to like actually evaluate them. This is like off the cuff, like, oh, that's a horrible movie, and then you just give it 1 star. That I would say is like unfair to do because it's like why even bother?
That's just like your opinion, man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Anyways, so Red Beard,
A movie
not
is the best way to describe it.
Yeah, not creep certified.
Yeah, it's a movie,
Mhm.
for sure.
Yeah, I'd be curious to hear from people who really like this movie and present their case because
We have no platform to showcase that.
comment on YouTube, like you people who comment on our Hidden Fortress review and are really angry that I don't buy the Star Wars shit.
It's the weakest fucking connection. Get over it.
Well, there's a video, it shows it side by side.
Nobody gives a
we
shit.
continue to get like comments about that. I was like, I don't care. I don't care about that movie. I never want to see it again. It's boring. It's like,
why does anyone care? Okay, if you're listening to this, if you like our show, go on that review and tell those people that they're dumb and that we hate them.
yeah,
And that they're wrong.
Yeah, take it out on them.
Take it out on them, and then also, do whatever nice stuff for us. Like, you can send us presents and gifts and things. Like, send it to me, though, because Jarrett doesn't share.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yes.
After the break,
Uh-huh.
RJ's tits and
Whoa.
broken bones are going to just be
Hey.
poking out everywhere. But just push it back in. It's fine.
Oh. I feel like the things you say are gross.